Welcome back, everybody. I am your host, Tori Jae.
And I am Tayso the Starseed. Hi, guys.
And we
Back.
are the Power of Women podcast. Ladies, I just want to ask a quick question. So, what if you didn't want to have kids? For the listeners out there that don't know if they want to have kids, or they might want to wait till they're older, wait till later, a certain time in their life, or just simply are on the fence, whatever the situation is. Have you ever been met with any kind of pushback for having those kind of thoughts and questions and things like that?
Yeah.
That's what I want to ask everybody.
Yeah. And obviously I'm somebody that's like, you've got 2 kids. Do you guys know Jazz has got 2 beautiful kids?
Yes, I do.
And I am somebody, I don't have any kids. And I'm at the stage in my life now where I don't even think I want to have kids. And it's such a taboo.
Yeah,
you know, like growing up, they always said to me, if I said, because obviously I was petrified of labor. I don't know any woman who's not. it's like so traumatic. So
if I had to go through it again, I would be too.
You know what I mean? Like, I remember as a child, my mum being pregnant with one of my siblings. And then that was like the first time I'd kind of seen pregnancy and labor. And I remember telling my school teacher at the time, and she had a baby, my school teacher at the time, and she was like, yes, it's really painful. And I said, what's it like? And she was like, you know, if you're constipated, basically. She was like, you know, if you're constipated, and it's like it's the same example they always give there. She was like, it's like trying to push a watermelon, I think she said, out of an orange or something like that. And I was like, oh my God.
I've heard a similar like example.
Yeah.
I remember somebody saying
it's probably bigger than that. Probably like a grape.
I'm like, constipated, man, please. Feels like you're dying. Feels like you're dying. You die.
I remember you saying that to me. You were like, my body went cold. And you know when they say deadly cold, right? That's
and then you shivering. A lot of women shiver afterwards, like uncontrollably. Like whether it's your drugs wearing off, you coming back from the afterlife.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
you had to die to have that baby come back.
You did. Yeah. And then we still take life for granted, irrespective. My God.
But because of that, though, I think that's a valid reason to whether it's like feel fear or not know if you want to do it or just not want to do it at all. Like, it's so valid, whatever the reason is. And I hate the pushback that anybody gets. And I know me and you have talked about that several times.
Yeah, no, right. About not wanting to have kids, you know. So I find that when I speak to people, you know, society and the patriarchy has a certain role for women, right? Women have to work in certain jobs. There's certain jobs that are only for women. Women are only supposed to dress a certain type of way. Women are supposed to talk a certain type of way and show anger and show emotions in a certain type of way. And they're literally here to also couple up with a man and have kids. That is your life purpose, is to procreate, is what they've been told, is what we've been told. And I've always believed that as well. But I'm like, no, I reject that notion. So when I tell people now, you guys already know how I feel about monogamy in marriage anyway. I have no desire to get married. That already is something that makes the traditionalists and the patriarchy mad. So they're like, oh, you do not want to get married?
How dare you don't want to practice monogamy?
Do you know, did I tell you that a guy said to me one time, we went out on a date, needless to say that was the last time, and during a date he now was saying to me, he already knows I don't want to get married and I really don't believe in monogamy. And then he was like, oh, so he looked at me and he goes, so you mean that no man is ever going to get to own this? It's like,
he's so serious.
I said, and he was very serious. And I said to him, that's my point. No. And it's funny because that's what you see when you see me. Nobody's going to own me. That's what no man is going to like humble me. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it is, to bring me down.
It's the conquering. I've conquered her.
Right. I've conquered her. But now you never will.
Yeah.
So then the next question they say to me is, well, but do you want to have kids? And to be fair, it's both men and women, because obviously we're victims of the society. It's the system. But then if I say, On a few occasions, I think, very rarely though, because I find myself pandering. And to be fair, I don't know if I do want to have kids. I don't mind. I'm open to the idea. Do you know what I mean? So when I say that, people are pacified. They're like, oh God, I thought you were like running riot, but you're still within the confines of society.
Yeah.
But when I say no, oh my days. Everybody starts to try and tell me, yeah, but how can you say that? You're not sure, don't write it off. Why are you telling me that?
Yeah.
Why can I not write it off? Why do I have to have kids? Why do women have to have kids? Like, you make out like, okay, we have the ability to create, right? That is the one thing that we have that men don't have. I mean, create life. Like, that's why they like to say that they like to distinguish the different things that we can do as men and women. No, there is absolutely nothing that you can do as a man that a woman cannot do, apart from, but you cannot give birth like us.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So because of that, they kind of act like that is what we are supposed to do. Every woman is supposed to have kids. And I don't think so. I don't think that's what the universe or God created us, that every single one of us is supposed to have kids and this is how we're supposed to live our lives.
Agreed.
So the minute you say, I don't want to have kids, society looks at you like I was told when I was younger that it was selfish, you know, and they would be like, well, if I chose not to have kids, then you wouldn't be here. And that's your choice. Like, that's your choice. Why are you, if I'm saying inside, I don't feel like I want to have kids, right? For whatever reasons known to me, like, women are ashamed out of saying, I love my freedom. I don't want to go through labor. And this is me being very honest and transparent about how I feel, right? Why would I want to go through labor? Maybe some people do, right? Cool. But who actually wants to go through that pain?
Right.
Like, who wants to lose their lights? Who wants to lose their freedom and all of that? Nobody wants to do that, ideally. Or maybe they do, but I personally don't want to do that. That's not appealing or attractive to me right now. And I love the fact that I'm able to say no.
Yeah.
You know, I don't feel like
I think a
doing
lot
that.
of women who actually even go through it don't even realize how much they lose of, you know, just yourself, your time, these small personal luxuries. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like a lot of people don't realize that until you're in the situation or until you've had kids. But I think it's also important to note that, like you said, it's not for everybody. And I don't think everybody was meant to have kids. And I think
Right.
that decision, I wish we could be more honest about it. And when I say that, I mean, like, a lot of people feel like, you know, we've been taught we're supposed to have kids, but there are so many people that only want kids because of
Of that.
wanting to
Mm-hmm.
fit into that narrative. And it's like, you don't even know what else you want kids for. And I know the reason I say that, I know this one lady, um, and me and her had a conversation and she was irritated. She was fussing at her child and she was just going off on a girl, cursing her out, just fussing at her. And she was like, you know, this kid shit is overrated. And in that moment, I just felt like, I get it. I get it. I don't ever want to, I'm a mom, so I definitely get it. I get it. Some days you
Yeah.
feel like, okay, today is too much. I just need, I need to walk away. I need a minute. But
Right.
and I would never want to, what they call like mom shaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
because everybody's experience is valid. You've now
Right.
had kids,
Right.
but when you go out of your way, this is somebody who went out of her way to have kids, and she really wanted this experience. And um, we allow our personal frustrations to overshine the experience, and you're feeling like this overwhelmed feeling in parenting, like being a parent is overrated, or the child is overrated. And I'm like,
Right.
as tired as I get with my kids, I'm grateful that I've not had that feeling. As tired as I get, and I think that that's even more reason why some people shouldn't have kids,
Right.
because the reality is sometimes you sign up for things because you just been told, or you think that's what you're supposed to do. You think it'll
Yeah.
bring you happiness. I know I've heard people say that they want kids because they want somebody to love them unconditionally, or
I
they
always
want
hear
to,
that as well.
They
Yeah.
want to have a family. They want to do these
Yeah.
things that they didn't get to do. And I don't see anything wrong with you wanting those things, but it's the reason why you want it. And some people, when they get into it, and they're like, oh, man, fuck this. And you take it out on a
Yeah.
kid, and
Exactly.
in these subconscious ways, you don't realize you're taking it out on a kid. And it sucks for the child,
Definitely.
because then you look at them like you're not supposed to be guiding them and helping them grow and allowing them to make mistakes and allowing them to learn,
Exactly.
and you just traumatize them, and you're just
Do.
frustrated and
Yeah.
irritated with their existence. And it sucks for the kid, because we're just putting out another generation of traumatized kids that don't have to be out there,
Right.
when the reality is you probably would have been better off without kids.
Without, right.
Yeah.
And it's just to touch on what you said just now about um people wanting to have kids because they want somebody to love them unconditionally, right? That's such a powerful point that you made, because I've heard that a few times, like especially Mother's Day. Again, not mom shaming. I don't have kids, but I just try to just live. How can I put it? My views are always from a perspective of, you know, I don't know what word can I use? What's best for self, as in self, what makes sense to my spirit, right? So if you, and I'm a huge self-love advocate and loving self first, because when you love self first, you can do everything else. So if you're having a kid and you're saying that I hear them say, oh, what do you love about your kid? I love that my kid loves me unconditionally. So that's not a reason to have a child. The child is not meant to be, you're not having a child to become your emotional caregiver, because you scar the child so badly because you're having them because you want them to love you, right? So now you have the child, and the child supposedly doesn't love you in the way in which you have foreseen, because you can't foresee how the child is going to love you. The child is their own human being. They're going to do what they want to do, right? So the minute they're not loving you in the way in which you created them supposedly to love you, it becomes problematic. The child is not your crutch for love, and I hear a lot of moms say that. They say, oh, I love the way my child loves me unconditionally, and I'm like, it's great, right? But I find it very like not emotionally stable,
Yeah, no,
because I feel
they
like,
become your emotional kickstand. Like, you
yeah,
literally are leaning on them. And
yes,
it's funny,
too much for
because
children.
the scary thing about that is, when you want this child, or have a child, so that they can love you unconditionally, because you're seeking that outside love, you end up leaning on them so much that they're not allowed to show any other emotion. So when they're upset, when they're angry, if they're not
Yeah,
doing what you want them to do, if they're
right.
not speaking to you how you want them to speak, it doesn't matter how you make them feel. A lot of times you don't
Yeah,
even acknowledge how they feel. It's
yeah.
about them showing you emotions that make you feel good about yourself. So if
Mm.
you're doing something for them, even if it's not even something that they might not even be interested in it, you need them to show you a certain reaction, to show
Right,
their
right.
appreciation for you, to
And it's
make
too
you
much
feel good
stress
about
for a
yourself.
child.
Girl, way too
Think
much
about the
stress.
stress for the child. Like, as an adult, when someone tells me now, like if someone says that to me, I freak out. I will freak. I mean, my energy goes, ah, I spaz out, because I'm like, no, don't put that kind of pressure on me.
Hmm.
I'm not responsible for your happiness.
Hmm.
I'm not here to love you unconditionally. That's not, you have to love yourself. And I come along and I add to it or whatever, but I cannot be your source of happiness. So imagine putting that kind of pressure on a child. You know what I mean? The child is not here to be your emotional caregiver or your
Hmm.
emotional crutch. Like you said, it's just way too much pressure.
Hmm.
And then you
Way too
end up
much.
having these kids who are so damaged. And also they just have self-esteem issues, because their worth is always, or validation is always determined by how much they're pleasing you. And if then they don't please you in the way in which you want, then they become worthless and valueless. Do you know what I
Exactly.
mean? Yeah, so they become worthless and valueless. So I just feel like it's important to have kids, to really think about it, why you want to have kids, and if you want to have kids. And if you don't feel like having kids, you're very within your rights to not want to have kids.
Exactly.
You shouldn't let anybody shame you. Like, there's more to life. If you want to have kids, beautiful, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have kids, amazing. But if you feel like you're not sure, or you think, I don't want to have kids,
Yeah.
sister girl, it's honestly, you're very much within your rights to not want to do it. Don't let
Yeah.
society shame you out of it. You're
Definitely.
allowed to choose the life that you want to live. Women are more than just incubators,
I've
you
heard
know?
I've heard people also say, like, especially to women that say they don't want kids. This girl recently was talking about how she doesn't want kids, and she knows that for certain. In fact, she said when she's dating, she she likes to find guys that already have kids.
Mm.
Especially because she wants to date long term, but she doesn't
Yeah.
think she likes like open relationships and things like that. But she still wants them
Sounds like
to
me.
have your kids already. You know what I mean? That way, like it's
Yeah.
not something that you're like,
You're
oh,
not putting me pressure.
I want to
Yes.
fulfill this thing. And she's like, yeah, I'm fine with them already having their kids, preferably older kids. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like whatever
I
the
love that. She
situation
knows what she
is.
wants.
Yeah, she knows
Yeah.
exactly what she wants. And she was also saying that people always say to her, well, but you have so many parent like qualities, or you have these natural mother like
Yeah.
instincts, and and she's like, but that still doesn't mean that I want kids.
Right.
And I'm like, that's it's funny because I told her, just because you don't have kids or don't want kids doesn't mean you don't naturally have parental instincts. The
Right.
same way that being a parent doesn't mean that you automatically have parental instincts.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Because there are so many
Right.
people that are um really, to be honest with you, just really violent, really
Yeah,
damaging, really
exactly.
traumatizing the kids, really ain't happy
Exactly.
about their kids, don't really want to spend no time with their kids. Like their kids just
Exactly.
ruined, like it's just like their lives are over basically because of the
Yeah.
way that they're choosing to view their kids in the situation with their kids. But
Yeah.
and you can see that come out in the way that they handle their children. And you can see
Mm.
obviously like, oh, you don't really just have natural parental instincts. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Right.
it's very
Right.
obvious and it's scary in those situations when you can see it. But there's a lot of people that just naturally are good people. So certain things are
Right.
common sense to them, but
Right.
neither
Right.
one means the other. Like, well, maybe one of them meant you shouldn't have had
You
kids, but
should. Right.
but
Right. Right.
definitely like just because you have these qualities doesn't mean
Nurturing
that
as
you're
well. Or
supposed
like,
to
yeah.
be like putting yourself in that situation. Like I tell
Yeah.
girls all the time, young girls, especially, I'm like, look, if you don't have kids, don't rush.
Yeah.
As somebody who I felt like I had my kids late, because I think we all want to plan our lives and
Yeah.
we wanted to be happily ever after by like
Yeah.
22.
22, literally. That was my goal.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
happily ever after is you're married, you got kids, you settle down. Like at 22, it's crazy.
Crazy.
But I'm like, I had my son, I think I got pregnant with Zion. I was like 28 or 29. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But that's relatively late,
Yeah. Which is
and
crazy when you think
which is
about it. You're
it's
in your
really
20s
crazy.
and they're saying that it's late. Like, but for a man, he's in his peak. In fact, he's not even at his peak at that age. He's not even peaking until he's in his mid-30s. But as a woman, you're close to expiry date.
Girl.
Wild.
And you want to know the scariest thing about all of that is it's like to force somebody or to shame somebody or guilt somebody into wanting to have a kid when the reality is like you are at a higher risk for mortality during or after giving birth. As a Black woman, you are at higher risk for being a single mom, like raising the kids, financially taking on
Right.
the burden of doing everything yourself. The statistics in our community are that more than likely you would experience one of those things than any other group. So it's like, why would I sign up, especially if I already don't know? It's like, why would I allow somebody to guilt me into signing up for all of that? It's like,
Mm.
please,
Mm.
ladies, be confident in your
Say it with,
decision to not want kids. Like,
yeah.
be very confident. I'm saying it as
Yes.
a person with kids. I love my kids. Like,
Yeah, of
all, and I
course.
feel like all the cliche stuff that they say is true. Your kids give you more purpose. They push you. They
Yeah, they
make you
do.
better.
Yeah.
Like I cannot lie. That stuff is not. It's not an
Yeah.
exaggeration. As
Yeah.
tired as you are, you muster up this energy. It's really it's a lot bigger than you. So I'm not
Yeah.
sitting here to
Source.
say that it's just this terrible thing, because
It's
it's
not
not. It's
at all.
beautiful. But it's a lot. And I think you need to consciously make the decision to go into it. I think a lot of us don't consciously make that decision. We end
Yeah.
up pregnant, and that could be beautiful too. But um, when you're making a decision and it's intentional and you're doing everything you can to prepare yourself and ultimately provide the life and everything that your child needs, which is not always materialistic. Most of us want to have our money
Most of the time
together,
it's not.
but you want to be right here. You want to be right here. You want
So
to,
important.
work on yourself before you even, take that journey and really know that you want to do it. But there should be never any shame or guilt. if you don't, because
Right,
it is a lot.
right.
Like, you do not get to
Yeah.
clock out. It's my favorite thing to say. You don't ever get to clock
Yeah, you
out. Like,
don't.
think
You
about that,
don't.
ladies, especially
Yeah,
if you're on
you
the
know.
fence. Ain't no clocking out.
And also another thing, yeah, to add to this conversation with regards to kids, there's another, I don't know why society is just, it's so, to stand up for your rights and what you is you we have got to do that fearlessly, women, honestly, because they will just make your life on earth hell and tell you that you are supposed to accept the hell. Like, I've been seeing another thing on social media recently. I don't know, I think you remember it. There's a lady who had a baby, right? And she paid her doula, loads of doulas around her. She had paid them to come and sleep and all of these different things, right? She basically made her life easier, spent thousands of dollars doing it. And of course, you have the miserable ones who had no help, one, and two, the men who think that our lives are just to suffer and die, blasting her, talking about why is she doing all of that? She's meant to spend more time with the kids and it's a waste of money and all of this stuff. Yeah. How dare you? If you have the money, how bloody dare you? You come and do it first of all. And like we always say, it takes a village to raise a child. Do you know how difficult it is?
It takes
So
a village.
the woman now has paid somebody. Thank God she's in that position. She's just had her baby and she's paying someone to come and help her do nights. And you, as the sadist or the saddest that you are, said that how dare she, because she should suffer, because if a woman is not suffering, then she's worthless. She must be suffering and proving that she's strong and she's resilient and she's having sleepless nights to be worthy. Right. No. Right. If you're a mum and you can pay for all the extra help in the world, get the help. Don't let people shame you out of doing that as well. Oh, you're not a real mum if you don't what, because I'm making my life easier. You want to dictate to me now also how I'm going to raise this child in a way that makes it mentally and physically okay for me, because
nobody would have said anything if she was struggling.
Of course not. Oh my God, they'll be like, oh, bless her. In fact, they'll be like, oh, help her. She's a strong woman.
They might not even said that. They might not even notice. They don't even notice you.
Because that's your normal state. You should be in that normal state. How heaven forbid you flourish.
Yeah.
Or heaven forbid you find a way to make it work for you and make it easier for yourself. So yeah, that's another thing as well. Don't be ashamed of the fact that if you're going to have nannies, I know people are always shaming, you're not raising your kids. Nannies are raising your kids. Shut up. Yeah. Shut up. Let women do whatever they can. Let them do whatever. However motherhood looks for them, let them do it, please. Especially when it's making their lives easier.
And I need them longer. I need them longer. Seriously. I need them around the clock. I need a third one. Seriously.
I mean, you need a whole army. And if you can get that, then why not?
Yeah.
Why shame women out of it, So yeah, ladies, if you don't feel like having kids, like, please be fine with that. Don't feel guilty about it. Don't feel shamed. You're not selfish like they've told you. Oh my God, you're so selfish. You're not wanting having kids. And even if you were selfish, because I always said, when people say you're selfish, yes, I'm very selfish. I look after myself and I care about myself, and I will never do anything that puts myself puts me in a funny situation to elevate someone else. Absolutely not, because I'm just as worthy and I'm just as important. And society is always telling you, no, you're meant to sacrifice and do for others. But who is doing for you? Am I valueless? Am I worthless? So why is it if I decide to put myself first, that's a bad thing? No, you're not selfish. If you decide you don't want, it's selfish reasons. I mean, you want to travel the world. You want to have your sleep. You want to, just get up and go, You could, why not? That's the life. You're allowed to choose the life that you want, so don't let anybody guilt trip you or shame you out of that, say it with chest. And I'm saying that to myself as well.
I know that's right.
You don't want kids. I don't want kids. To be fair, like I said, I don't know if I do. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'm open to the idea, but I've just found in my experience, when I tell both men and women, whenever I say I don't want to get married, the next question is, but do you want kids though? And I find myself saying, well, I'm open, because I am open. But they are immediately pacified. Yeah. They're immediately like, I see the relief, like, oh, okay.
Like, why are you that bothered?
Why are you that bothered about what I do with my womb?
Yeah.
And it's interesting as well. I've seen recently, have you seen the story of, it happens quite regularly to women, just to show you how, again, mad society is. A lady tweeted the other day that she wanted to have her tubes tied. She's a lesbian, by the way. I think she said she was a lesbian. And she wanted to have her tubes tied. She didn't want kids, right? I don't, or something like that. She said something to do with that area. And basically what the doctor told her was that he wasn't going to do it. It was a man, obviously. And I just don't know how they have this kind of power. He told her that he wasn't going to do it in case she decided to be with a man in the future. And that this man, in the case that he would want kids. Do you see how mad that is? You are planning my womb. I'm telling you, because I think she had endometriosis. She had something, one of those terrible conditions that really make your life a hell, live in hell. And of course you're a man, you don't know what it feels like. So she's like, you know what, I'm just I don't want it, sort it out. And he refused, because she came on social media and spoke about it. He said no, for the hypothetical man that she might be with as a lesbian and in the future, so you can deal with this pain and continue to deal with this pain. And he said no. And I'm like, how are they allowed to do that? I've seen a few stories like that. How can they tell you that?
Scary. It's scary. That's our reality though. And I think that we've just gotten so it's just so normalized. And when you're dealing with it every day and moving through life, and that is your reality, and nobody else can see it, you even become, I think, desensitized to an extent yourself. You know what I mean? So much so that if you're not working on yourself, you literally won't even see it.
Right.
You won't even realize that it exists.
It's the norm. Yeah. You don't even see. Furthermore, you don't think it's a problem. You're like, yeah, it makes sense.
You don't think it's a problem.
I get why he's saying that. Or I get why that's happening.
Yeah. We always do that. We always rationalize with them.
Yeah. We do, man. We do. But yeah, ladies, this is a chat. A chat on kids, So yeah, think about it. Like, if you want kids, if you don't want kids, it's fine. Don't let anybody shame you out of it. Just embrace it. Think about it, and then just live your truth unapologetically, like I always like to say.
Yeah, definitely make that decision for you. Don't allow it to be made, or make sure it's not a subconscious decision you're making.
Because it's a lifetime commitment, and a life is not a joke. And
girl, lifetime commitment. It's like I just realized this in like this last month. It's like you think that they get to a certain age and you're done. It's like, no, as adults they're gonna call you, and then they have kids, and then they're calling you.
I'm telling you,
I just thought about that today. I said, oh wait,
oh my god, you never clock out.
Damn.
I mean, I still call my parents now, and I'll be stressing them out too. I'll be like,
me too.
I need this, and they'll be like, child.
Right. Oh God, bro, you never clock out. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's beautiful. So, it's crazy at the same time. It is beautiful and it's
crazy, And it's a lifetime commitment. So it's something that we should take up. We should as women as well, particularly because we're the ones doing it. We're the ones carrying the kids. We're the ones raising the kids. These men are rarely doing that. So take your time and think about it,
Right.
Really think about if this is something
you're gonna do it, do it on your terms. Make it look like how you want it to look. Make it as comfortable as you need it to be. And whether you're going into the situation with somebody that you feel like can handle this with you, make sure you are still prepared to be comfortable, and make sure your child is comfortable. If you're gonna go that route,
absolutely,
take your time. Just take your time.
Absolutely, man. Yes, definitely. So thank you, ladies, for joining us again. As always, we love you guys. Are we done? Oh no, wait, I forgot to tell you. What? Follow us. Yes. Do you remember? Yeah. Follow us on and write us too. Yeah, definitely on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok at the Pow. No, is it the Pow Podcast? Yeah, at the Pow Podcast. Comment, like, share, send us messages, and also schedule an Ask Pow session. We have the Ask Pow sessions now, where you can come to us, for advice.
Now you can talk with us one-on-one, personal,
one-on-one,
just us. You know what I mean?
So if you had something you want to talk about, life, career, whatever, follow us. We're here for you. Okay, so we'll see you next time.
See you next time, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.